quiet is kept. One of the things that really irks me about the industry plant conversations is how I feel like y'all are about to absolve the record labels of doing any work, any artist development. What do I mean, right? So if you don't know what I'm talking about, mostly because of doechii. I mean, you've seen other people get accused of being an industry plant before in the music industry outside of rap. I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to start another dialogue. But people were saying, oh, doechii's an industry plant. This person's an industry plant. And I think, number one, people don't know what industry plants are and mean, right? And I understand because this is kind of blog language that's kind of, developed, and it's something that's now being used in a more common way. But I'm going to tell you what industry plant is for me and what I've known the definition to be, which is someone, quite literally, if you just take plant, someone that has a relationship with a major label, okay, but then is planted into the industry as coming up from the underground, meaning they've been supported by the label throughout the entire time, but the fact that they were signed, that's the easiest way to catch this. The fact that they were signed or receiving money from the label was being hidden. So they're able to, quietly blend into underground spaces, and you get a lot more recognition, and it's easier to have a longer career that way. And I think that obviously that doesn't apply to doechii because first and foremost, from what I can see, she was working well before getting into TDE, which is technically not a major label, then got signed to TDE. That was announced that she was with TDE. And then what a lot of people miss about this is TDE operates as a label on its own, but they tend to do joint ventures with bigger labels, and that's what helps people pop up. And sometimes you may think Ab-Soul is more talented than Kendrick, but the reason Kendrick gets a lot more recognition is because he had a deal with TDE, Interscope, TDE Aftermath, Interscope, and that's where the Dre connection, Jimmy Iovine connection comes in. So a lot more money gets pumped to TDE to help Kendrick Lamar, whereas Ab-Soul may not have that major label back in. It's just up to Top Dog to help them out. Does that make sense? That's the best example I can give you of this. So doechii worked on the underground, then, got signed to TDE. They pushed her. She worked hard. She started making noise, and then she did a deal with Capitol Records, I believe, about 16 months ago. And that's really when you start seeing things booming. But to my earlier point, right, the problem I have with this industry plant thing is that it's basically, absolving labels of doing any work because they look at, when an artist like a doechii does things, in my opinion, the proper way and is getting the proper label support, they're watching you guys reject it. Because lately, what you guys have been missing is that a lot of these artists that you see that are coming up a certain way, that's not the right way to come up. I shouldn't say that's not the right way. That's not the proper way to come up, right? Coming into the game, paying for everything on your own, your record pops, and then all of a sudden the label runs and go, oh, we'd like to sign you. I already did all the work. And you guys got really, really used to that. So when someone does underground work and the records aren't super popping, but they're known in the underground, they sign a deal with kind of like an independent entity like TDE. Then they work. They pump money in there too, work. And then they get capital. And you guys are like, oh my God, that's not how it works. Because you had never heard a hit from her. It makes the labels go, oh, okay. So the way we were doing it recently has conditioned them to think that's the right way. And now you're absolving them of doing, like, you know what I'm saying? The proper way to do this, see an artist, sign them, announce the signing so we know, and if they didn't have that much weight in the underground, that's okay. And then put the money into the artist, right? So, and my last point on this is also, I really don't want to say the person's name, but I think you guys can easily figure this out. It's so easy to tell who the industry plants are because once they come out, once they have an underground hit and they come out and the underground hit is bubbling, you think it's trash. It might be catchy. They've got a certain look to them that a label clearly wants, right? And you start finding out they had relationships in the industry. You start finding out the people that produce all the records for them is in the industry, or their families in the industry. You find out that their deal was signed right around the time the hit came out. you should be able to spot that that's what an industry plant looks like. But anyway, guys, this is very similar to politics. Stop this nonsense. It's very similar to kind of like weird, like, when people watch their government working for them, they start complaining that it's all you're spending money. Y'all are kind of doing this with the labels. This is what labels are supposed to do. They sign people, announce it, the person's been working for years, and they help the person get even bigger. Industry plant, different. They find somebody who had not been working, might got a song or two, but it's got the image, the look, and someone that can vouch for them that's in the industry, and another one's in it, and they just go, okay, this works. They package it up, put some money into the record, make it pop in the underground, and then push it out to you. And they don't even announce a deal later. You just assume, hey, this person exists, so whatever, it is what it is. That's a plant. Okay? And the labels don't mind that, and they also don't mind going to grab somebody that was cool with so-and-so, Johnny John, that used to move so-and-so, that got, hundreds of thousands, that help them pop. They don't mind signing that person after the record already popped. All right? That's what labels like, and y'all are absolving them of this. Okay? Good talk.